Welcome to the second episode of HowWow Digital. I'm here with Martijn from Artbox. Amazing to have you with us again. We started this HowWow Digital because, well, you know HowWow as an event, most of you probably, but Martijn, maybe you can tell a little bit about that.
It started out as wow, how beautiful, and then how were all those productions and creations being produced, all the problems, all the flaws, how did clients solve them, did it become a better production, a worse production, was it a good client, a bad client? So actually that's how we started HowWow, to give you a little bit more of the insights behind the productions and behind the artists. So here we are.
Yeah, fantastic.
With Vera van Wolferen. So how did you start? So, I mean, did you already play it when you were 4 years old with paper and it became a profession or study, etc.?
Until I was 8 years, I lived in Amsterdam. And my mother used to bring home these huge refrigerator boxes that she found on the street. And I would turn them into stuff that fascinated me, like an ATM. Because as a child, you're like, what? How does money come from a wall? And I need to recreate this in cardboard. So somehow it's always been there. Then it disappeared for a little bit, and then I went to art school. There in the shop of the art school, I found this very cheap but great material, and it's called grey board. And that's what you also can see on the picture.
Cool. That's how you started, basically.
Yeah, making these sets for films out of grey board. I really like it about cardboard that it's the material itself doesn't have value, but everything you create with it gives it value.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you must have had an amazing patience for it, because it takes a lot of time to, or...
So people always say like, so you must have a lot of patience.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Not in general, but for this thing that I really like. If I put a little bit more time in the details, it gets more... Yeah, that's what makes it work,
right.
Like adding all the details and keep working on a model. And
it's absolutely fascinating, the details that go into this process.
In art school, I wanted to make films, but I had no idea why, or how, because it was, I was the only one in my class doing it.
Right.
And so I started creating the world that I wanted to show in a film, but I never really got to making the animation.
But you always had film in the back of your mind.
Yeah, but I just didn't get to it. So when I graduated from fine arts, people told me like, go do a master's in animation, because it would be great if these sculptures would move and you could really come to life.
Yeah, right, wow.
And did you do that? Did you do an animation study, of course?
Yeah, so then I went to do my master's in animation at St. Joost in Breda. Yeah, and it's a 1-year course, and that really helped me specialize in storytelling, learn about how you write a script, a storyboard, like all the sort of tools you need to make a film.
What's happening with movies and your artwork?
Yes, last year I've been working on a short, a 2-minute short, and it's a combination of stop motion and After Effects animation, so stop motion and 2D combined. And it's my first big project in color, because I work a lot with white and grey board and also wood. So if you made so many white things, you have to challenge yourself to do a new thing. So I was really excited to find a way to do it that I really like it. Yeah. What I really like about the way I did it is I mixed all the colors myself. So I painted it by hand with watercolor. So I mixed all the colors. Because sometimes when you use colored paper, it can sort of look flat. And this way it has all these textures that by accident end up somewhere in the sculpture. And also like the roof has a nice line.
Yeah.
And this way I really like working with color.
Yeah, and when I saw your work, I was right away blown away. So I really, really, really loved it.
When you start working, I mean, this looks like a super delicate process. Did something change over the years, or did you find your... How do you do that?
Yeah, so I started with the grey board in art school, and this grey board is really hard to cut. You have to like use a ruler and cut a lot with your knife. And I also started thinking, what if I can design things on the computer? And sort of at the same time, somebody told me about these plotting machines that are quite affordable.
Right.
It can cut the paper for you. So in this way, I could work much more detailed, because the plotter is really precise. I started developing, learning 3D software, and then designing in 3D software these models in a way that I could send them to another software that cuts them all apart. And then I send it to my plotter and I can glue all the pieces together. So that's the way I work now.
Is there also a disadvantage? Because like in the early days you did it all by hand, so you started from scratch and you did it by hand. So I see the advantages now, you explained it, but are there also disadvantages?
I'd have to say maybe it gets too perfect. Okay, or like if you make it by hand, it has like more accidents, it's more skewed, and this way then you have to design it in 3D sort of skewed. But I really like how more detailed you can go.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well put.
And this is actually a very nice project that I did together with an intern of mine.
Oh, wow.
Guy called Joris.
Oh no, it turns as
yeah,
well. Oh,
he was very technical.
All paper, eh?
Wow.
And I challenged him by asking him to make paper gears that would work.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
whoa.
so inside there's a paper mechanic, all made out of this paper material, all 200 grams watercolor paper, and yeah, he made it work. So
Wow, this is crazy.
yeah, if you work together with someone who has a special talent to
Yeah.
bring it together, and then you get something.
Yeah.
Fantastic,
new.
fantastic.
Yeah. This one's called the rapper's new career.
Oh, fantastic. I didn't even know that. I was just, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's
obviously. Brilliant. Wow. I love the clouds in this one. But
It's cotton. It's also really nice to animate. So in the film I made now, there's all these cotton clouds coming from the exhaust of the campers.
Right.
This, I also really like when stuff is laying around in my studio, because the landscape is hand-painted paper. So I have all these things laying around, and I make
Cool.
new compositions with them to create a story. So this is really the end result, is the picture.
And the texture is really very in place. So it's
Yeah.
dark, actually really dark, but also on the
Yeah.
left side a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
And normally, I mean, it's white. And
Yeah.
now suddenly it's there's more and more life into it. That's actually what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I like the composition. The composition is so powerful. With the little thingy in the middle, and then also the look through the window, and then actually it's in a hole in the mountains, and the mountains are actually
Feels like a
painted
Grand
like
Canyon,
mountains,
yeah.
but with paper. So
Yeah.
it's papery mountains. And the little cloud, and then of course you can go up with your ladder,
amazing.
escaping maybe in a way. So I was also a little bit curious what your thought was behind it, but sometimes
It's funny that it's
sometimes
such a intuitive piece that
Yeah,
I actually didn't think a lot about.
Yeah.
It just sort of came to mind live.
looking at this piece, Vera, what can you tell us about this?
I started working with balsa wood also because I first worked with this gray board that
Yeah.
started to decay. So I was looking for new materials. So you have all these hand-cut pieces that are glued together.
This is wood,
This is balsa wood.
balsa wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really soft.
Yeah, for the viewers, it feels like paper. Like,
Yeah, almost.
yeah.
But still, all the pieces, this doesn't work with a plotter or 3D
Right,
designing.
right,
So this is
right.
all just made from scratch by hand. And
Oh,
it
no.
has a really,
Wow.
I could animate it, but I didn't yet. But
Wow.
just to test what I could do with this material and make sculptures out of them that are more durable and also have this nice wood quality to
Yeah.
them. So. And I call them story objects, because they sort of, still it's a sculpture, but they seem to come from an animated film. Or
Yes,
they seem to
yes.
be a set for something. So
Yeah, definitely. Is there anything, just to round off, anything you can tell us about future products, some super secretive stuff you're working on? Just give a hint or not, or is it, what is something we can expect from you in the days to come?
I'm going to work on a new film, but it's really at the beginning.
Wow,
so
okay.
There's only ideas at the moment, but I think it's going to be an 8-minute short.
Oh, wow.
So-
This is going to be your second short then? Or
Yeah, I made my graduation short,
Okay.
and then this is, I think, a second short, and then
the third one is
third one is
coming?
going to be also really different again. So
And do you think of the future in terms of like, do you want to make a full motion film or like what is?
well, I would like to make a children's series one
Oh, really?
day. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
that would be really cool.
Thank you so much for
No, definitely.
for sharing your work and your thoughts with us, and we'll speak soon. I think it's an amazing work.
Thank you very much.